Hi, I'm Rabbi Daniel Lappin, answering the questions that you send in to Ask the Rabbi here at Cornerstone. And as you can tell, I just love doing this. Some people have names that don't reveal whether what gender they are. There are a lot of sort of dual gender names. And so I don't really know whether this question came from a man or a woman. But here's the question. My parents are trying to change my personality. I detest an uncle of ours, and mom and dad scold me. When I feel down and miserable, they scold me. Why can't they just understand that I feel what I feel, and I can't change how I feel? And that's from either Mr. Jordan or Miss Jordan. And thank you for your question, Jordan. Look, this is one of those difficult situations for me because my paths are the paths of righteousness and my ways are the ways of peace, and I hate disappointing people. I have to disappoint you and tell you in the gentlest way I know how, Jordan, you couldn't be more wrong. You see, God does expect us to not only control our actions, but yes, to control our feelings. The 10 Commandments, Exodus chapter 20, do not steal. That's an action, right? That's a commandment, do not steal. I get it, pretty straightforward. But then there's a commandment, the 10th one is, don't even want things that belong to other people. You mustn't even feel feelings of envy towards what other people have. Wow, how does God expect us to do that? Why doesn't God just say, hey, you know what, you can't help what you feel? Wrong. You couldn't be more wrong, Jordan. God created us as creatures capable of modifying our feelings. And this is so important because it's not just you, but everybody with us today has situations that they don't feel good about. And if they would only be able to change their feelings, they'd be able to change their whole lives. Well, you can change your feeling. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it right now. You see, one of the things we've got to know is that God expects us regularly, right? God expects us to be happy. For instance, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. You expect to be happy. And you don't say, God doesn't say, well, if you're not happy, you're not. No, I expect you to be happy. That's all there is to it. Expect you to show love and feel love for God. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5. How am I supposed to feel love for God? Well, you just better. You have to learn to regulate your feelings. It's as simple as that. In Leviticus, there's a rule you're not allowed to hate your brother. You're not allowed to feel hate for your brother. Yes, you've got to change how you feel. It's as simple as that. How are you supposed to do it? Here's the lesson. Over to Genesis chapter 41, verse 14. And we got Joseph languishing in a dungeon after he was falsely accused of sexual assault against Potiphar's wife. And eventually there's a whole thing with dreams. Fascinating. I mean, you know the story, right? You read your Bible regularly, I trust. And finally, Pharaoh sends soldiers to get Joseph out of the dungeon and bring him before Pharaoh, because the word is out that Joseph can explain dreams. And the verse is fascinating, Genesis 41:14, fascinating, because it then says they dragged him out of the dungeon and they were going to take him to Pharaoh, but Joseph himself shaved and changed his clothing. They didn't do it to him, he did it to himself. Why? Because he wanted to feel differently. He was going to appear before the king. He didn't want to feel like a jailed convict. He wanted to feel like a man. And so he shaved, cleaned himself up. He knew how to change his feelings by how he acted. And the same is true for you. Jordan, start behaving towards your uncle as if you liked him, and you'll start feeling better. When you feel miserable, start acting happy, you'll feel better. I'm Rabbi Daniel Lappin, praying that God blesses you with good health and prosperity. The rest is up to you.